Let them eat hate seems to be an appropriate phrase for gamers nowadays when it comes to the gaming journalists out there that are hating this game, Stellar Blade, for its absolute success in the market. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with the game, as we see numerous articles swarming, attacking it because it's undeniable right now. It cannot be refused or stated in any other kind of words than that this game is a cultural phenomenon and it's unstoppable in its wake. And I think that is the messaging that we're getting with the ultimate success of this game, where gamers are playing this game in droves for the PC, and so much so that it's making more profits on the PC than it ever did as a PS5 exclusive, and more than any other PS5 exclusive when it transitioned to the PC and Steam release. And this is just reflective of what we've been seeing in the gaming industry these past few years, where gamers are renouncing the old forms of games that have been coming out for the past 10 years, the modern audience trend where they're making games for a group of people that do not play games. They're making games for journalists that are not interested in playing games, and they're making games for a consultancy class of people that are just there to change the gaming format to be more in line with their political ideology. And I think that is a thing that we keep seeing in gaming, and gamers have stated that they're tired of this, but that tiredness has led to no change. So this has led to a downgrade in the overall quality of the Western gaming studios, where you can't expect a good game from a Western gaming studio anymore. All you can expect is to get tired political diatribes that are trying to reform you in the way of political ideals. And I think that is the thing gamers are tired of. And that's why they welcome the cuteness and overall beauty of Stellar Blade. And that is being reflected in the overall quality of the game that we're seeing right now being pressed out for a PC release. And gamers are moving in droves to play this game. And it's evident by the content that we're seeing actually rise to the tops. Stellar Blade is that peak content, reaching peaks of over 188,000 players playing this game over the weekend. And it seems to be going higher and higher as time goes by. And this is just reflective of a game that is more in line with the gamer's interests than anything else out there. And I think this is leading to a lot of critics and gaming journalists to attack this game in a frenzy, hating that this is still getting popular even a year after they tried to dead and bury this game. It got tons of comments, tons of negative reviews saying this game is bad, saying this game is just there for gooners, for the pleasure of the male gaze, something that is abrasive and should be shunned from the gaming industry. These are the comments that we got from all these gaming journalists, and they truly thought this would dead the game, even though it went to the Game Awards because too much gamers were playing it, and it got shunned there as well. They thought that was the end of the story for Stellar Blade, but it isn't, and that is evident because this game is reaching greater heights of success even after the attacks they put out there for it. I think that is the thing that we're seeing as a response now, with a lot of gaming critics coming out and attacking the fan base, angry that they're playing this game, saying it's getting its success, but it's only due to the thirsty fan base that is obsessed with beautiful characters. These thirsty fan bases that are flooding the PC release just trying to see anything that is attractive, and these losers are ruining the overall gaming industry. And this is the type of articles we've been seeing spread about, whether it's through Vice, whether it's through PC Gamer. These guys are frustrated that this game is still getting the same attention it had, even more so than it did last year. And it's just reflective of this kind of mindset that is in the gaming industry, where you're out there to shun anything that is not in line with what you want to see in gaming. I think that's what we see with a lot of these political activists that have filled up the ranks of writers for the gaming industry, where they don't like anything that is made to be for a particular male audience, a straight male audience, because you see the opposite when other games come out. They praise for other games like Hades 2. They praise anything related to the overall attractiveness of the characters there because it's more in line, has LGBTQ representative icons. So they praise anything that has attractiveness with that game. In comparison to Stellar Blade, they hate Stellar Blade because it doesn't have anything related to their ideology when it comes to progressiveness, when it becomes the gender racial ideologies that they want to see transposed to the artistry that is being put on display. It doesn't have that. Stellar Blade doesn't have that. It's just mostly focused on the conventional, straight hetero gender perspective. And I think that's the thing they hate. Like, this is not in line with our political activist ideology. We got to attack it. And that attack is coming incessantly, even in the hypocritical ways, where they prefer even bestiality related stuff more than anything that is normal in society's point of view. And I think this is what we see with Baldur's Gate 3, where they're praising the bare intimacy that you see in the game, and now they hate Stellar Blade for not even showing any intimacy. There is no intimacy in Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is pure action. There is no romance, really, and it just has something that is attractive, and they feel that as repulsive because it's not doing the thing they want to see. It's not making the strange gender and racial issues at the forefront, and it's doing something that's catering to a group of people they absolutely despise, and that is the American male. I think that's the thing that we see with modern gaming in general, where it despises anything that is American and male-oriented. And I think that is the thing that we see here. This is more universally just male-oriented because a lot of Chinese people are playing this game. A lot of people across the world are playing this game. This is just going directly to the basic male desire. And that is the essential thing that a lot of modern gaming journalists absolutely hate. They hate anything that is aiming towards the male audience. I think this is the thing that we see reflected in the reaction towards this game, where they want to tear down this game. And that is the thing that they see as the essential thing about Stellar Blade, where it must be tore down because more than anything, it represents everything that they dislike in modern society. And you got to remember, they create things to be a lecture point of view. That's what we saw with Dragon Age Veilguard, where it was all about transgender identity. It had nothing to do with the Dragon Age lore. It was just something that was propped up to be a reflection on the creator's personal ideology. It had nothing to do with the Dragon Age world or anything related to that. And I think that is the thing that we see with Stellar Blade, where it's not doing that. It's making something entertaining, and that's why gamers are flocking towards it. And that's why a lot of the games that are lecture-based right now are just kind of thrown away and put in a grave of failure. That's what we see with so many titles that have come out, like Concord, like Star Wars Outlaws, like Assassin's Creed Shadows, like Dustborn. We see them fail while Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong are prevailing and having successful tenures as franchises in the gaming industry. And I think this is reflective of all those failures, where we have something beautiful in a sea of ugly things. And I think that is the thing that a lot of players are pointing out right now with Stellar Blade, where it is the thing people want, and it's few and far between, and the people that hate it want to name call the game players for choosing a game that is more in line with their interests, because they want to change our interests. And I think that's the thing we have to realize. All this criticism that we're seeing from gaming journalists is aimed towards the shame and change the interests of the gamer player base, because that's all they're there for. They want to capture the minds of the audience because we're in the midst of a war of cultures right now. I think this is the thing people always realize, but it is active right now, where we have people that generally do not have interest in the content that is being put out there. I think we see this with PC Gamer, Kotaku, all these other elements. They don't care that their companies are failing. They don't care that the content is not getting views. They just want to shape and change the gaming industry as a whole. And I think that's what we see with the anger over the success of Stellar Blade, where they're attacking this game even now because it's against their ideals. And I think that is an affront to them more than anything. And I think we see this reflective in political society, where if you're against a person's ideology nowadays, particularly a progressive ideology, you're excommunicated. And even more than that, maybe even have violence perpetrated against you. If you look at the Tesla bombings and all this other stuff, violence is the thing people go towards. And more than anything, they just don't want to talk to you if you are someone that has differing ideals. I think that's the thing that gamers are enjoying right now with Stellar Blade, where they don't have to worry about this anymore. They no longer feel shame. They don't have to actually argue with anyone. They don't have to try to convince the gaming media journalists anymore, because they have no power anymore, and they just accept the quality games that are out there, and they're going to pay for them. And I think there's a group of developers outside of America, particularly in the East, in Korea, that are willing to produce that content. And I think that is the thing that is bringing us back to the era of quality looking characters that we just once had as a staple in the 2000s, where we just got so much quality looking characters that we were spoiled. We didn't know how good we had it back then. And I think now we're appreciating any morsel of that type of character design. And I think even with Stellar Blade is that type of character that will fit nicely with those 2000 characters. But that was just my 2 cents on the situation. let the haters eat cake. Maybe this will be a bad sign where, since we're using a French Revolutionary a phrase right there where they decapitated the queen for saying that, but I don't think we're in that situation. I think we already decapitated the queen. I think we're just enjoying the fruits of our labor, and Stellar Blade is the fruit of the gamers' labor for not buying into the trash games for these past few years. But that is just my 2 cents on the situation. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.